Ladies and gentlemen, he's a child of God, a husband, NRA conservative, radical right-wing supervillain, and Twitter rock star. American by birth, Texan by choice, and a badass by nature. He's the owner of TomO'Halloran.com, O'HalloranMedia.com, and PatriotRadio.net. Please welcome Tom O'Halloran.
Today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
And good morning, America. This is the Patriot Radio Show, and I'm your host, Tom O'Halloran. I'm broadcasting today from my underground bunker deep in Arkansas, Nebraska, and I'm here to educate, irritate, and agitate. But today we're going to have my good friend Ken Crow, who just now called in. We're going to have him on the line like we do every Monday. And we're going to get an update on the political goings-on around the country in the campaign for president, especially what's happening up in Iowa right now. We're coming down to the last, I think, 32 days, 33 days before the primary election up there. Again, my name's Tom O'Halloran. My primary blog is TomO'Halloran.com. When you get there, please be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Spreaker, or any of the other social media that suits your fancy. Also, please follow Veronica Coffin. She's my editor, managing several websites on our network. And without her doing that, I couldn't do this. You'll find her follow button at the bottom of each and every post. On Facebook, we're at facebook.com/Patriot Radio Show. Personally, I'm at facebook.com/O'Halloran. And I'm on air 5 days a week, so please tune in every Monday through Thursday for this, the Patriot Radio Show. On Fridays, I do it a little bit differently. I do Jihad on America, where I cover the Islamists in America. I tell you who they are, what they want, and why you should be very, very afraid. If you did not catch my show on the Muslim Brotherhood, my show Islam is Not a Religion, or my show on Islamophobia, then please, please, please find your way to PatriotRadioshow.com and listen to all three of these shows. They will give you insight and perspective on the topic that you've probably not heard elsewhere. They'll also give you a solid foundation upon which we build each and every Friday as we continue pulling back the mask of Islam, looking at what's being done in the name of Allah, both here and abroad. And I do the news about Islam around the world because it's a look into the future of what's in store for us here in America if we continue to allow the cancer of Islam to spread in the homeland. Keep abreast of my shows, listen to the live stream, as well as catch the archives of any shows that you may have missed, all at PatriotRadioshow.com. And with that, we're going to go to the phone and bring in my good friend Ken Crow, political guru extraordinaire. Ken, are you with me, brother? Ken, please turn down your TV or your speakers, brother. Typed a little message there in the chat room. Ken.
Tom, I cannot hear you, my brother.
Okay, well, I thought we had fixed all of that with the rebuild of the studio.
There you are. Now I can hear you.
All right. Somehow my phone switch is still not working quite right, but I think this is the button right there.
I know what I'm buying you for Christmas next year. The new telephone.
Can you hear this?
Yes,
okay.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Not loudly, but I can hear you.
Okay, well, I'll leave the phone off as well. I've got this phone switch. It's like a $250 box that takes the noise from my mixer and runs it through the computer system and all that. and there's like one too many buttons on there. I just can't seem to quite get it tuned.
Okay. Well, we have breaking news today.
Yes.
Which part would you like?
Let's start with the good stuff.
Okay, it's all good. Well, no, it's not. Some of it's bad. It's all good. Tell me, do you want the Iowa news, national, or world?
Let's start local and work our way upward.
Okie dokie. New polling out. CNN just spent a ton of money, and they actually put together a really, really good poll. And Donald Trump is not behind in Iowa. He's got a 13-point lead over Senator Cruz.
Outstanding.
33-20.
Outstanding.
I told you, I've been telling you for weeks he was not behind.
Yep, and
The
I've
Des
been
Moines Register said he was.
and I've been telling everybody
huge
else.
poll.
It's been propaganda, is what it is.
Sure, that's exactly what it is. So Senator Cruz, in a desperation move, is starting a 28-town visit that starts today over the next couple of weeks. And he's riding around on a bus with Steve King, Pastor Reverend James Dobson, Focus on the Family,
Sure.
and Bob Vanderplatz. They are scouring the cornfields for evangelicals, and they're going to be displaying their Bibles proudly, which I admire. But they're in trouble, and it's because of the ethanol lobby, which I told you about.
Yep.
Because most of the evangelicals in this state either are corn farmers, or related to corn farmers, or have corn in the family at some level.
Sure.
And because you're talking about 70,000 jobs in a small state.
I'm surprised that it's that much. It's corn. I figured there'd be a few farmers is off. 70,000.
Oh, it's billions in this state is derived from ethanol, and Cruz went after that,
Yeah.
and he's trying to downplay it, and the ethanol lobby is not letting him do so.
Well, I don't mind
And,
him. I don't mind him going after it. I mean, we all want to stop government subsidies for businesses, but yeah.
Well,
It's
I'm reminded when you say that, I'm reminded of something that I saw one day on. I was watching it was one of the earliest episodes of West Wing, and the candidate Bartlett's giving this speech, and he's in New Hampshire, and he's addressing a dairy board there, some kind of dairy meeting,
Oh.
and they jumped on him, and they went after him because he wouldn't, I've forgotten exactly how the deal went, and he looked at the dairy farmers, and he said, yeah, I hosed you. I sure did. And they said, why? And they said, because we have to keep the cost of milk consistent. And he launched into this essay on how many hungry children there were, and so on and so forth. Well, much of the same true as corn. You have much of the same thing that is true with corn. And if these corn farmers can't keep a relatively consistent price for their products, so they know how much they can plant, what they need to do, they can budget for the year, and things like that, you would be amazed how much of your products in your daily life come from corn.
Yeah, sure.
Up to and including fuel.
Right.
And if you get radically altering prices in corn, it'll have a devastating effect on our grocery stores, our prices for groceries. I mean, everything, fuel, everything. It's amazing what comes from corn. And that's a product that we simply cannot have these massive fluctuations with. And we can't afford to lose any of our corn farmers either.
Isn't that something, though, that's better regulated by an independent board of dairy farmers than by the government? When has the government ever managed anything in the economic world and not screwed up?
Well, they've done a really good job with the dairy farmers, Tom, and I mean, this has been going on now since, oh my goodness, you take this all the way back like Richard Nixon. I mean, it's been going on that long with the dairy farmers to keep the prices of milk and dairy relatively consistent so that it doesn't hurt the people, because that's a basic staple, dietary staple.
Yeah.
And that's why our food's affordable. So I personally, I believe in free enterprise. I believe in capitalism. I believe in all that. But there's a couple of things that we really do need to keep a lid on.
Okay.
And keep everything constant. And that's one of them. Food is one of them.
Yeah, I can.
I don't think we can afford to screw around with food.
No, we need to be able to make sure everybody eats. That's for sure. Okay.
So Trump's out in the lead in Iowa. Trump did an interview yesterday on Face the Nation, and I don't know if you saw it or anybody saw it, but one of the comments that he made was the narrator of the interview, I've forgotten who it was now, asked him, said, "Do you plan on advertising?" And he said, "You know, I almost feel guilty because I haven't had to advertise. And I've got this huge lead over everybody, and I haven't had to advertise yet.
Yeah.
And I almost feel guilty." He goes, "You know, the rest of these guys have all spent 30, 40, $50 million. I've spent less than $5. So he said, I'm starting this week. We're starting. He said, I've decided I don't feel guilty anymore. I think I'll spend $35 million. So he plans on blanketing the airwaves $35 million worth of advertising over the course of the next 35, 45 days.
Good. I heard he just launched one. I heard he just launched one ad that says that he will cut the head off the Islamic State. I like that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. His rallies are getting bigger. Did you see the one in Mississippi?
No.
They, where'd he go? I think it was Biloxi, I think. Anyway, just yesterday or the day before, did one down there. Place was totally sold out as a basketball arena, I think. 13,500 people.
Wow.
Everywhere he is going, Tom, it's chaos.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's going. You watch these, go on YouTube and watch, they've got all of his speeches, hour and 20 long speeches from these different rallies. And every one of them, I have not seen this level of enthusiasm since Obama in 2008.
Right. And the difference though is they are liking him for his policies, not just because he's the Messiah. These are knowledgeable people. These are people that are aware of what's going on. With Obama, they had no clue what he was all about.
Well, that's absolutely correct. And, he just kept chanting, hope and change,
Yeah.
and nothing went with it. Trump is being specific. Now, he's not quite at the level of specificity. Help me, I'd like to see. But there you go, detail. But he's getting there.
Yeah.
And it is on his website, by the way. He does take all these issues, and you can read a blurb and then click read more, and then it's an entire essay about what he's going to do. So it's not like he's hiding anything. It's all on his website.
Right.
And more good news, Citizens for Trump continues to grow. It is just absolutely all over the place now, in social media and everywhere. And that volunteer base over there is just rising dramatically.
Outstanding. How many members do you have over there now?
I don't know. I talked to Tim last night for about an hour. He called me, the proprietor of it, and we had a long talk last night. He's doing great. I mean, he's really enthusiastic about it. It's a huge Trump's got a huge volunteer base.
It's huge.
Trump likes to say huge with a Y.
Yep.
But it's growing, and They're broadcasting all of his events. They got Twitter working, Facebook in, and I mean, just they're like you have a lady that listens in on your show every Monday by the name of Kathy Accordino. She is just, she's probably the most passionate Trumpster. What do we call them? Trumpsters or Trumpanistas, or what are they?
I like Trumpette.
Trumpette? That makes them sound like a cheerleading squad.
Right.
Anyway, the Trump, she's leading the charge and carrying the big flag with the T on it on her big white horse for the Trumpster.
Yeah.
For the Trumpster brigade. But yeah, she's all over Twitter, and she's keeping that going over there. So, you know, every time anybody says anything negative about him on Twitter, there's 84 people that jump on him. So it's the same on Facebook. It's kind of fun to watch. Anyway, so that's the Trump update. He's killing everybody. Rand Paul's getting ready to get out. We lost, who was it we lost the other day? Oh, there's a new one that's come back into vogue. I got a call the other day after our last show we did. It seems that they are trying to revitalize and re-energize the Rick Perry campaign.
Oh, say it ain't so. At this late in the game?
It is so. He's got a super PAC that's trying to get him going again. And with the theory being, and this is their theory, Trump is going to self-implode. The American people aren't going to buy what he's selling. Cruz can't get enough traction because Trump's going to crush him. Marco Rubio's going to be found out to be a true liberal in a Republican cloak and dagger situation, and America's going to want Perry.
Wait a minute. The first two premises are kind of incongruent with each other.
Well, you can't shoot. Caesar said, "Don't shoot the messenger." Okay.
Trump's gonna implode, and Cruz can't make it because Trump is crushing him.
Right.
If Trump implodes, then Cruz is the man.
Well, they seem to not think so.
Okay, so, well, that'll be fun.
And they don't believe that America will be willing to nominate a first-time senator, a freshman senator again.
Well, I think there's a difference between a senator that knows the Constitution and adheres to it than Obama.
So they were wanting me to get involved in this little tete, whatever you want to call it, whatever. Anyway, there you go. That's the Rick Perry update. Now we have a Paul Ryan update. It seems that the movement to dethrone Ryan is growing.
Good.
Daily. The problem that I see with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but let me give you the upside and the downside to this. Paul Ryan's district is the first district of Wisconsin, which is Janesville, basically Milwaukee south to the border, and then out a little bit west from there, right?
Yeah.
That district is like 65% Democrat, registered Democrat.
Okay.
Remember, that's where all your, I think Buick factories were there, and several more. It's basically blue-collar, union industrial area.
All right.
All right. Here's the problem that I see with trying to dethrone Ryan. On the one hand, I like it. You and I say, get rid of Ryan. He's a rhino. On the other hand, if you get rid of Ryan, you're not really going to be able to replace him with anybody more conservative because it's a Democrat district. Now, the voters of that district are not going to want to trade in a Speaker of the House for a freshman congressman.
Yeah.
The Speaker brings in a lot of money to that district. He builds a lot of Little League baseball fields. He does a lot of stuff. brings home the bacon.
Yeah.
So I cannot see them wanting to get rid of him. You can't elect anybody more conservative because, remember, it's a Democrat district.
Yeah.
So now who are you going to get to run against the sitting Speaker of the House? And then where's the money going to come from? You know, you say, well, the Tea Parties can go in there. Yeah, the Tea Parties make up some of the vote, no question about it. But there's not enough of them or enough money to fight an unlimited bankroll. Because the Speaker right now has over $5 billion in the bank. And believe me, guys, that's a lot of money for Milwaukee. Okay?
Sure.
That's a lot of money for Milwaukee. We're talking Milwaukee and Janesville here, okay? The smallest baseball town in America that has a professional baseball team. You know, Milwaukee's not that big. You're talking about 150,000 people or something. And you can swamp the airwaves with $5 million that covers all of southern Wisconsin.
Okay, so Plan B. What's the likelihood of getting him ousted as Speaker?
0.
Really?
Yeah, 0.
Well, that's
in my opinion.
That just sucks.
Because, hey, you're not going to have, unless you have somebody really rich that just wants to write a $5 million check and go play in politics. That's basically what you're going to have. And then if you go slamming the Speaker too much, and you do turn the people against him, you're not going to win because you're more to the right than he is. And to make matters worse, you're probably going to get a Democrat elected. So,
well, that just
it's my opinion that what I think needs to happen is we just scare the Speaker a little bit, make him behave himself. Because I can't see the people turning on him when he really hasn't. He just started the job. And everybody's going to say, well, look, Ken, give the guy a break. Okay, we get it on the omnibus. He was boxed into a corner. He really didn't have anywhere to go. Right before an election, he didn't want to fight this fight. Didn't want to shut the government down. Didn't want to have the Democrats turn the media against the American people and against the Republicans. I get all that, okay? I really do. I understand the strategy, which was the same strategy Boehner had, in that we cannot afford to have another shutdown and have the media turn on the Republican Party and turn the American people against the Republican Party.
But that's
being obstructionist.
That's a policy of cowering to the minority party.
Well, yes and no, because what keeps happening to us when we do that? We've done it several times.
I know.
And every time we've done it, we've gotten our clocks cleaned. Let's be realistic. Everybody in the media, they all go out with the cameras. They find the poor old government worker who hadn't had a paycheck in 3 weeks, who's about to get their car repossessed. You know, and that's the stories that they put up on TV.
Yeah.
We get murdered in the media. We cannot win that battle. We never do. Bring me a good marketing plan and a good advertising plan on how we overcome that. And then I might get on board and say, well, let's shut it down then, because we're not going to get killed in the media. But I cannot tell you how many times, Tom, I've had people tell me, you guys are obstructionists. You just want to shut everything down. All you want to do is gripe and fuss about everything. You don't have any solutions for anything.
Yeah.
And you don't want to spend any money. You know, it takes money to operate this country. And that's the argument that I hear. And all you want to do is shut everything down, which we know not everything is shut down. It's just non-essential stuff. like Yellowstone Park. Well, who goes to Yellowstone when it's 28 below zero and snow drifts cover the road, and they don't plow the roads anyway because it's closed?
Yeah. Well, when it's Obama saying what gets shut down, it's like veterans memorials and senior centers.
Exactly. They shut the VA hospitals down and everything. Yeah, I get it. But that's the point. How do we defeat that? And you can't. So because the media are leftist. So Paul Ryan's taking a calculated risk. Okay, I can survive the bashing from the right to save the Republican Party and save us in 2016 elections. I get that. But that's what's going on. And to go after him is going to be a futile effort because he brings home too much bacon. The people in the district like him. He's got very high approval numbers. And for a Republican in a Democrat district, that's saying something.
Yeah. All right.
So
that's why
those are my thoughts on Paul Ryan.
And that's why we like having you on, because you bring a big picture of you that most of us don't really have. We see the problem and we go after it from one direction. You see it from a big picture and kind of enlightened.
Well, on a humorous level, you'll never guess what I saw yesterday.
Oh, I'm afraid to guess.
I saw a Mike Huckabee television advertisement.
Holy Toledo.
I've seen one.
Wow.
And I saw it one time.
Well,
in an entire football game.
Well, he has the $3 million. He might as well spend it. Don't know how far he expects to go on the one tank of gas, but what's happening with the Jebster, though? Is he still trying to hold in?
Jebster is against the ropes, flailing wildly, and his opponent is holding his glove against his forehead, and he looks like a teenager trying to hit Mr. T.
So no change there. He's been in that position for 3 months now.
He's in deep trouble trying to resurrect something that was never erected in the first place.
Yeah.
And he's about to OD on Viagra, and it's not helping him.
Oh, jeez.
Jebster's in deep doo-doo. No, this is a three-man race. If you want to call it a three-man race, and you're just being generous by doing that.
Yeah.
This is Donald Trump's to lose. And I've been saying it for months. This race is over. We're just going through the motions.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
And because once he cranks the television advertising up and starts hitting all the social media big time, bigger than he is now, and once he starts with the television and the radio and the newsprint and the billboards and everything else, he'll win the nomination. Going away.
Are they getting
this will be over by the night of Super Tuesday. This thing will be over with.
Good. Are they getting a ground game together? The volunteers calling people and.
They're getting all that together. Yeah, I've even, of all people, I've even been getting phone calls from Des Moines. Hi, this is Michelle or whatever their name is. From the Donald Trump campaign, we'd like to ask you, are you going to be caucusing,
Yeah.
Will you caucus for Mr. Trump? Yes, ma'am, I'll caucus. They want me to be a spokesperson and give the big speech at the caucuses on his behalf.
Well, you ought to do that.
Well, I don't know. I may not. I don't know. I think they may have somebody else now, but which is fine,
Well,
I'm happy to help any way I can. I would think that all the articles that I've written, as much social media as I've done for him, I've helped considerably more than I would getting him 168 caucus votes, which are going to vote for him anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
People go to the caucuses here. Their mind's made up.
Sure.
Very few votes are actually changed. You know, you got to remember, you go out, you scrape windshields, you heat the car up, and it takes you about 20 minutes to heat it up to get it warm enough where you can get in it. And that's after you unfreeze your locks and, you know, get the door hinges chipped, get the ice chipped off of the door hinges so you can get in your truck. Then you drive up to the caucuses. They usually, well, sometimes they have the sidewalk show, most of the time no. So you walk through 6 to 8 inches of snow to get inside. It's 19 below zero. The wind's blowing. Your cheeks are numb. And then people are wanting you to talk.
Yeah, right.
It's not all the people in Iowa are hardy. We're hardy. So that's the way caucus night goes here.
Yeah.
And they usually serve coffee and donuts or something. But it's always held at 7 o'clock. Now, keep in mind, it's been dark since 4:30. You know,
yeah.
And, so it's a good time, though. It's a big party. It's kind of like that little town up there in northern New Hampshire that's always the first to vote.
Yeah.
And they vote at 12:01.
12:01, huh?
Yeah, you know that little bitty town?
Yeah.
It's up on the Canadian border.
Yeah, I remember it being covered a few years back. Well, I'm glad CNN did that in-depth poll because I was getting tired of reading all the bogus polls putting
Trump announced that yesterday. Now, it's been sent a correction. Paul Ryan's district is just on the southern edge of Milwaukee. Milwaukee itself belongs to Congresswoman Moore, I believe it is. Gwen Moore is her name.
I got you.
And that's District 4, so I stand corrected. Thank you for that. So,
what would we do without the people listening to keep us
yes,
straight, right?
Yes. That was our new friend. We have a new friend.
Yeah?
She is out on the left coast. I've been instructed don't give names. Her name is Lauren, and she is a political operative that is staunchly in the conservative camp. She's a website expert. She does a lot of work for candidates, getting underdogs elected, knocking off the big dogs that we don't like.
Outstanding.
So hats off to Lauren. She's a demon out here for helping the underdogs out and helping the good guys get elected.
Outstanding. Glad to have her on our
So
side.
I will reveal more information when I'm given permission to.
All right. Brother, I need to run a little commercial, pay some bills.
You bet.
Stick around, okay? Folks, this is the Patriot Radio Show. We're on the line with Ken Crow. Stick around. We'll be right back.
It's that time again. It's what you've been dreading all year. It can be confusing, difficult, even painful. It has driven countless people to worry and to despair. It's something you hate, but something you have to do. It gets under your skin, and it can get you in over your head. It is income taxes. Now it is easier. It is faster. It can make you happy. It is less expensive than H&R Block and TurboTax. It will get you your biggest refund faster. It starts free. It is efile.com. efile.com. We make income taxes fast and easy.
How's it going, JR fans? Nick Libretti here, and today we're smoking the Oliva Cane Daytona. Another home run from the Oliva Company. Guys, this is the Cane Daytona. Medium to full body Nicaraguan smoke. Habano wrapper on it. Burns really, really nice. Hints of coffee. Really, really creamy, flavorful smoke. This thing changes flavors on me 4 or 5 times throughout the cigar. It's excellent. 3 words I would use to describe this thing: impeccable, complex, and out of this world. That's more than 3 words. Stop counting. We have 3 sizes, everything from a 46 to a 60 ring gauge. Get them right now at jrcigars.com.
Hi there, my name is Mark Cranenberg and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about my favorite order from Chicago Steak Company. It's the Classic Prime Assortment. Alright, well let's open up and have a look what's inside. So right away we've got 2 6-ounce filet mignons. If you know anything about steak, it's really rare to see filet mignons with that kind of marbling in it. Just beautiful steak. And then next we've got the 2 12-ounce USDA prime strip steaks. Just look at how thick these things are. They're just beautiful. Again, beautifully marbled, amazing steak. Then we've got 2 USDA prime ribeyes. And if you like steak that is just mouth-watering, this is the steak for you. With all that marbling inside, you'll see it's thicker. The marbling is a lot thicker. That just means more moisture throughout your steak. Now we've got 6 USDA prime top sirloin steaks. These are the steaks that everyone's going to love. Then we're moving into our next package. Next we have 16 4-ounce gourmet Angus steak burgers. These are amazing burgers that everyone's going to love. And to top it all off, they give you 1 container of my favorite steak seasoning of all time, the Chicago Steak Spice. And you're going to love it too. So there you have the Classic Prime Assortment. My favorite and your ultimate steak experience. So be sure to order your steak today at mychicagosteak.com. I'm Mark. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and we'll see you next time at mychicagosteak.com.
Tom O'Halloran has a not-so-common core spelling lesson for the Obama administration. Ready? There is no K in America.
There's kids that can't pray in school, $100 tanks of gas. I can tell you right now, this country ain't supposed to be like that. No, that ain't my America. That ain't this country's roots. You wanna slam all on the Sam, but I ain't letting you. Yeah, I'm mad as hell, and you know I still bleed red, white, and blue. They ain't us, and that ain't my America. Oh no, that ain't my America. No, 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 no. That ain't my America.
No, it's been a long time since it was my America. But Donald Trump's getting ready to fix all of that. This is a Monday morning edition, the first edition of the year of the Patriot Radio Show. We're on the phone with my good friend, Ken Crow. Ken, are you still with me, brother?
Oh, yeah. I'm sitting here getting flogged.
As well you probably should be.
Well, yes. Our friend Lauren just corrected me. I'm not much of a geeky person, as you well know, meaning I don't understand a lot.
You were geekishly
And I made
challenged.
the fatal mistake of accusing her of being a website person because I didn't know any better. I have been unceremoniously corrected.
So, what type of a person is she?
She is a political consultant specializing in social media takedowns,
Well, there you
meaning she takes the underdog and destroys the big dog to help the underdog on social media.
Well, outstanding.
And anyway, I got promptly corrected. For any of you contestants out there that would need help in any of these venues, she can be found at Campaign Consultants, conservativecampaignconsulting.com.
Okay, and where can they reach?
She's very good at what she does, by the way. Do I?
Where can they reach you? We don't do this often enough.
Me?
Can you put out your
Oh,
Twitter?
I don't.
Your
Yeah,
Twitter
don't
and your-
reach me. I'm over it. CrowsNestPolitics.com, and I get flogged daily. So,
And again, it's not.
Ken, you're
it's,
too far to the right. Ken, you moved too far to the left. Ken, I
and
can't win.
and on Twitter you are.
Excuse me, at KWR Crow.
KWR Crow.
Yeah, but I'm not a Twitter stud like you are. You're the Twitter Yoda. You're Yoda of Twitter.
Oh, I used to be. I haven't been on Twitter in months.
Really?
Oh, they took away my big account. I had 465,000 followers.
Oh, I know you did.
They took that away. They took away my next account, which had about 280,000 followers. They took away my third account, my backup to the backup, which had 115,000. I'm down to one with 50,000 followers on it, and I have not been to Twitter in probably 3 to 4 months. When I do a show, it automatically gets posted to Twitter, and that's about it. I just don't go there anymore. It's no fun when you have to be careful of every word you say because they're going to turn you off if you say something conservative.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to let the world know Lauren is not a website person. So there you go. She is a political consultant.
One more time.
Specializing in social media takedowns, I believe it. You know, it's kind of like a physician specializing in heart surgery, I guess. You have people that specialize in certain areas of the internet. Oh man,
And you call
funny.
it a general
Anyway.
practitioner.
Well, let's go national.
Yeah.
Everybody is upset about Barack Obama and his guns he's fixing to go to work on. I'm going to tell you, and this is going to hopefully appease everyone or
Doubtful.
something similar. I do not see him doing anything dramatic, simply because he cannot be that dramatic with his pen and his phone on something involving the Constitution and the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
I just don't see him doing it. I've seen him trying to tweak it a little bit. I've seen him tinkering with it some, just to appease the far left, not so much to actually do anything dramatic, because he can't, number one. And Congress would rise up on him.
Sure.
If that were to happen.
Both
Congress
si-
and
both-
the Senate would.
Both sides. The gun industry is a very, very strong industry, and you know both sides of the aisle are fairly heavily invested in it.
Well, that's absolutely true. So I just don't see that happening. So everybody that's all upset about Barack Obama right now, you know, stripping us of our guns, you know, shutting down the ammunition manufacturers and all that, none of that's going to happen. And not only that, whatever he does, Donald Trump's already said, and he said this 2 or 3 times over the course of the last few days, whatever he does, I'll let him do it.
Yep.
So don't panic, America. Now, the one that does have me pretty upset today, and I wrote an article about it yesterday, is this Hammond issue up in Oregon.
Yeah.
You've been keeping up with that.
A little bit. I've been offline for about 10 days, but I saw a little bit about that just yesterday. They got the guy.
Oh.
They got Bundy up there spearheading the thing.
Well, yeah, and that's a disaster waiting to happen.
Yep.
Apparently what the deal is, I read the actual Justice Department review of the case.
Yeah.
At justice.gov. I actually went in and read it. Then there was a radio station out of Portland or someplace that put up probably a 4,000-word essay of the whole history of this thing, going back to the 1960s when this family bought this ranch.
Uh-huh.
And apparently what they were doing, what got them into trouble this time, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. Well, the EPA's trying to do this, the Bureau of Land Management's trying to do that, blah, 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 and they're seizing all this ground, turning it into federal wilderness and so on and so forth. But what ranchers do, just for everybody's edification here, what they'll do is they'll have maybe a 500 or 1,000 acre ranch, and it will abut some national wilderness thing, right?
Yeah.
And they go to the Bureau of Land Management, and the Bureau of Land Management will say, okay, we will lease you 50,000 acres, and you can run cattle on this land. It's in effect their land. They're responsible for keeping it up, right?
Yeah.
And they do this for X amount of dollars a year, or whatever the case may be. And they'll go stick 1,000 head of cattle on there. And what they were doing was they were actually, now the family claims they were trying to start backfires to keep this major fire from getting onto their property and all that, right?
Okay.
And that's what they claim. But then the evidence came out that apparently what it really happened was they were on there poaching deer out of season. And anyway, they get charged with 20 felonies.
Oh, jeez.
Now, the part that I have a problem with is 2 of the felonies that they were convicted of was domestic terrorism. Now, I'm not quite sure how they got convicted of that, but they were, in fact, convicted of that. So the son and the father go to jail. The son goes, I think the father went to jail for 3 months or something, and the son went to jail for a year in a local courtroom in Burns, Oregon, on the eastern side of the mountains. And they go to jail for this specified period of time. They get out. A federal judge reviews their case. Excuse me. It says, no, you didn't go to jail long enough, because these were federal crimes, and the judge didn't implement or institute federal sentencing in these crimes.
Oh, my word.
So he said, you got to go back to jail for 5 years. Well, that inflamed the Bundys,
Yeah.
who then reached out to the militia. And now the militia and the Bundys show up. They hold this huge protest. The family never asked for any of these guys to show up.
Right.
Matter of fact, they said, stay away.
Yeah.
We'll handle it. This is our deal.
They said, we're going to report to jail as ordered.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Bundys said, nah, we're coming to help. My argument was, if you wanted to help, why didn't you hire an attorney for a good appeal case?
Right.
Why didn't you go, nope, we're going to protest. Oh, by the way, we're just going to take over this government building while we're here, and we're going to camp for the next couple of years until you give us what we want.
Yeah. That always goes over real well with the federal government, right?
Well, sure. The bottom line is, my viewpoint on it's this. If you want to protest, get out in the street, get yourself a permit, hold your parade, protest, give speeches on the courthouse lawn, whatever it is you want to do, and then go home. You don't seize property. You don't go into government buildings and take them over, no different than terrorists do. You don't do this stuff. And I found out last night they've even got babies in this building. They've got women and children in there.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I can see it. Waco, Ruby
Can you,
Ridge, all over
I
it.
was just going to say, can you say Ruby Ridge? Yep.
Yeah. And this is going to be a bad deal if they keep this up. It's not going to end well for anybody. So, if you're going to claim to be a constitutionalist, if you're going to claim to be a patriot, then you need to do what patriots do.
Yep.
Which is adhere to the law, adhere to the Constitution, and do this legally. If you really want to help the family with some legal expenses, help them get a good lawyer, a better lawyer. Take this all the way to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
It won't cost you but $1 million to do that. If you're going to help them, let's really help them.
Yeah.
And get the law changed for everybody.
And now
if there's a flaw in the law, let's get it fixed for everybody.
And now
You don't go in and seize buildings.
Right.
Go ahead. Sorry about that.
That's all right. This is going to give the government everything they need to declare all militias whack jobs and terrorists.
Well, yeah, it's not helping anybody.
Right.
It really is not. I get the idea. We're Patrick Henry and we're throwing tea into the harbor. I get that.
Yeah.
But today, folks, they're out espousing, we need a revolution. No, we don't. Do these morons have any idea how many millions upon millions of people will die if that happens? Up to and including your families?
Yeah.
Everybody's screaming, we need a revolution, we need a no, we don't.
Well, we may have it, but it shouldn't be over one person's this.
Well, it shouldn't be because we sought one.
Right. If we have a revolution, it'll end up being the people rising up against 100,000 Muslims being imported into our midst.
Well, if we have one, let it happen organically.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't incite the damn thing.
Yeah.
What happens, happens. But these people are out here trying to start one.
Yeah.
And you're going to end up with blacks shooting at whites, whites blaming everything on the blacks, the Mexicans saying, you took our land 150 years ago, get out of here, and they're shooting at everybody. And it's going to be ugly. And we don't need that. This is America, guys. We have a legal system. We have great attorneys. We have a law. We have a constitution. Let's take it to the highest court in the land and resolve our issues without bloodshed.
Yeah. Yeah, that taking the government buildings, that's just a loser play from the get-go.
Lastly, world news. Saudi Arabia apparently executed an Iranian Shiite cleric. Iran didn't appreciate it. They executed him for, I think, treason against the royal crown or whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, so Saudi Arabia has an execution party the other day, kills 46 people. One of them is this Iranian cleric guy. The Iranians didn't appreciate it. They go to the Saudi Arabian embassy and burn it down in Tehran.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia has now severed all diplomatic ties with Iran, and the value of oil is plunging, and because they're both ramping up oil production to pay for, I guess, what is now going to be an impending war between Iran and Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia, interestingly enough, Barack Obama appealed to the royal family. We need to temper this. We need to all get along. We need to negotiate. And the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince said, up yours, Mr. President. We're not listening to you.
Right.
So, this is getting really interesting.
Well, this could be
the Middle East.
It's not just the Middle East. This could be what they call a perfect storm, because over the weekend the Chinese stock market took a dump by about, I believe it's 8%, which is a massive percentage point. And markets all around the world are on the downspin because of that. So we're going to have a real interesting couple of weeks coming up.
Well, as a matter of fact, as I was going to pull, I had that pulled up just a minute ago. We're now off over 400 points.
Yeah.
For the day, so our Dow is taking a dump today badly.
Yep, and I think it's going to happen. It's going to go on for over a week. I think we're looking at 2 to 3 weeks of some serious nosedive activity. So it'll be interesting.
Really, you think it's going to be that bad, eh?
Yeah, it's not. I mean, if it was just the Saudi thing or just the China thing, maybe not. But I think the two of them together, I think we're in a world of some serious adjustment, as they say in the market.
Huh? I'll be darned. Okay. Well, on that note, I will say I am in deep state of mourning today. My Packers lost last night.
I'm so sorry, man.
Did not play well. However, my Broncos, Peyton Manning came back, rallied, and we won. So we get a bye week in the Mile High, which is good. And Peyton can get real healthy and get back in good shape, and we'll come out swinging here in a couple of weeks. And my Packers have to go to Washington, D.C.
So who's going to be in the Super Bowl this year? Make a call.
Well, I got to tell you, partner, about the time I think Charlotte or Carolina, there's just something about that team that isn't gelling. They're 15-1, yes, but it all is synergistic around Cam Newton. Everything is Cam Newton. Cam Newton runs, Cam Newton scores, Cam Newton throws the ball, Cam Newton scores. And if Cam Newton's taken out of the picture, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
So I think probably the best balanced team in the NFC right now, and the ones that are looking the toughest to me, I'm back to Seattle. I hate to say it, but I am. I think they went through a little bit of a rough stretch there, and their record doesn't reflect just how good they really are. I think Seattle's probably the one to beat in the NFC, just my opinion. AFC, I've got as much as I love Peyton and the Broncos, I don't think anybody, when it comes down to it, and the game's on the line, titles are on the line, rings are on the line, the big bonus checks for winning the Super Bowl's on the line, there's nobody better than Bill Belichick, Tom Brady. Just my thought. I think Belichick once again is the team to beat.
Didn't we have a matchup with Seattle and the Patriots just was it last year or the year before that?
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm not a football fan. I don't really follow it, but yeah, those two names sound real.
Well, no, I think Seattle defeated. Somebody chime in the chat room. Who was it? Seattle defeated. Was it the Patriots? I'm not sure. I'll tell you who else you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
And they're the sleeping giant, and they could very, very easily end up in the Super Bowl. And that's the Arizona Cardinals.
Huh.
They are fast. They have a stifling defense. They have a very good quarterback. They have a couple of wide receivers that run like antelope, fleeing a bear. I mean, these guys are good, and they are tough, and they're well coached. And it wouldn't surprise me a bit to see the Arizona Cardinals walk away with everything this year.
Well, there you go. Place your bets, folks. Call your bookie. You got it here. Any final thoughts, brother? Our first show of the year.
First show of the year. this is a year, America, that we're not going to get any more chances. We have to save our country, and it's going to take everybody getting involved. We're going to have to rise up, get to work. You're going to have to give up some Saturday afternoons and help some good candidates get elected. You're going to have to get out there and work. It can't be leave it to the next guy.
Right.
Because there are no more next guys.
Amen.
It's us. We're it. And if we don't get this done, this nation will never, ever see greatness again. We will become just another nation.
Yep, that's it. We're down to the last 4 months. The last 4 months we have to save this country.
Yep.
So, brother, I'm so glad that the first day of the year was on a Monday. The first day of showtime is on a Monday, and you were part of it. We'll look forward to seeing you next week, and as always, call in anytime you got something midweek, all right?
Okay, I am going to a cruise event tomorrow night, and I am going to go visit with Dr. Carson on Wednesday. So I may call you Thursday and report in on my findings.
All right, look forward to it.
Okay,
All right, brother, take care. That's it, folks. This is the Patriot Radio Show. This has been the Patriot Radio Show. Mondays, it's always with Dr. Ken Crow, the political guru. And with that, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Texas time, for another edition of the Patriot Radio Show. Tune in on Thursday when Daisy Donovan joins me right here. And then Fridays for Jihad on America. We'll see you then.